Hello, everyone. Sorry to keep you waiting. I've been on a trip for the last week and just getting myself back into the swing of things. Anyway, throughout my time on my trip and as I came back and got resettled back into the swing of things, a question was brought to my attention from someone I know in that it feels like they aren't really having as much fun playing video games, that everything seems to be a chore and feels like, another job that they have to do just to eventually enjoy a game that they love or find enjoyment in because they have to get past a certain grind. So the question they're posing is, are we losing the fun in gaming? And to that person, I say, in the AAA sense, yeah, probably. We're probably losing the fun in gaming since it's become so corporatized and made for modern audiences. But in the indie and retro side and older games, it's a different story entirely. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's first elaborate more on the AAA scene. Because AAA, minus, I'd say, a very, very small examples, i.e. Battlefield 6, they've been just taking L's constantly. Like, there's no easy way to sugarcoat that. They've been taking L's constantly. And Black Ops 7, which I have been a certified branded hater of this game already, but I feel like that's the kind of par with every Call of Duty every year because it just seems like they find some way to one-up on themselves and how to make a game so bastardized and terrible. But still, the only win that Black Ops 7 has had is that recently they just announced that they're no longer carrying over the wacky cosmetics after so much backlash and roast from Battlefield 6 devs. But that's really the only kind of wins that we have. You got Battlefield 6, which just has some hype for the first time for a Battlefield game since, well, the misleading trailers of 2042. But aside from those two examples, AAA games aren't really doing too hot. I mean, and you have to just look no further at how they're made. I mean, AAA games, they have no soul. They lack depth. It's pretty clear and cut and dry that Karen, the HR manager, is influencing these kind of games, and they're just being made for everybody. Which, if you make a game for everybody, make it for no one, because you can't appeal to everybody. Look at Concord as a good example, which, by the way, it's been about a year since their servers shut down, if you can believe that, which I thought was kind of funny hearing that the other day from one of the YouTubers I follow. But I mean, you just see that. It's pretty clear, cut and dry, that AAA gaming, I'd say for the most part, is being made with no passion or love, and all it is just being made to appease shareholders and stakeholders, to all of the Wall Street gurus on the New York Stock Exchange for those publicly traded companies. Because, yeah, once a company goes public, you're basically going to see them becoming more and more corporatized and all being established in the name of making money. But anyway, it's pretty clear and cut just by, you can even just see how microtransactions are littered into these games, all for the name of just squeezing out every nickel and dime out of players and people that they possibly can get, even if it's just $10 here and there. I mean, Call of Duty's the main egregious example, but you just have to look at general at any other game that comes out with a multiplayer stamped onto it, that if it's even free to play, it's even more egregious. Sometimes it could be reasonable, but you just have to look no further at even other popular games like Marvel Rivals. There was a time where you could get all those skins by just playing and enjoying the game and, completing challenges to unlock them. You go back and see how all their old games had progression systems, and for the most part, you just had to earn them. It was a, play to earn, not a pay to enjoy kind of mechanic, and it's ridiculous. It really is. It's just been getting so out of control because it's under the guise of, oh, it's just cosmetics, it's not loot boxes like before. No, but now it's normalized to where even kids are growing up believing that this is just how the industry is. It's stupid. And then you got the last funny example that I like to bring attention to is that Bungie's imploding with Destiny 2. I mean, the company at this point is getting ready to be absorbed by Sony, and it doesn't surprise me at all. Like, the CEO left, the same one that had the cars in the garage that he showed to employees, only to fire them eventually soon after. But now the new CEO head that has replaced him still does not understand what players or fans want out of Destiny. And it's also the same CEO head that at a convention said that we shouldn't expect Forsaken-style content and that many content that Forsaken brought to the game ever because it's just sets unreasonable expectation, which defeats the point. Like, I don't even want to get into that headache, how stupid of a statement that is. The point is that AAA scene overall, not doing the best of times. And yeah, it could be easy to be discouraged when you see the fun being zapped out of something that you love and brought passion to you. Even the skeletons of a once beloved studio and the stuff that they had brought to the gaming scene even back in the day. So when you look at it like that, it does seem discouraging. But then I tell people that the AA and indie scene and even older games are doing spectacularly right now. I mean, you have to look no further than Hollow Knight Silksong that was just released recently. And you, judging by those player count numbers, yeah, this game only costs $20 and you get everything that you want there. Now, Hollow Knight is an established franchise and it's not my cup of tea, but it goes to show that there is a market. People are willing to spend this kind of money for a game. Like $20, that's chump change to us because we don't have $70, $80 to be buying big, games that claim to be feature complete and have the justification to have that price tag. We don't have that kind of money nowadays, especially with this economy that we're in. And then we can also pull out Expedition 33, which had a peak of 144k players all the way back in May. And while it has dropped in popularity, it's a single-player game. It's what you kind of expect. But the fact that it came out of the blue with that much, not only content, but word of mouth to get people excited to want to play it, I mean, that's incredible. That's just incredible. And it still didn't cost as much as a AAA game. I believe it's like, what, $40, give or take? So yeah, people are willing to spend the money for these games, but they're not going to spend like a boatloads of money unless it's absolutely worth the price of admission. Because I don't really drop full price on games anymore. $60 is the absolute max I will spend on a video game. Nothing more, nothing less. Because I'm just tired of spending more than that. I don't care if a company, like EA, even with Battlefield 6, I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm not going to buy it at full price, period. No ifs, ands, buts, or ors about it. I'm going to wait till next year for that game. But a lot of us don't have that kind of money. And we're not willing to dish over money like that. Because, not to mention, you have to just even go back and look at older games right now. As I've shown this statistic before, but PC gamers, as of back in March, they only spend about 92% of their time on older games. Which I guess is telling. That's actually very high percentage. That a lot of people just prefer to play even older games. Because with these older games, you can still feel that passion, that love. It's not soulless for the most part. I mean, you could even go back to, like, pre-2020, I could even make that argument mostly. Because, yeah, the industry wasn't the best between, like, 2014 to 2020, if we're going to use that time window. But there was still some love, and it's like, would you set the comparison to those games from that time to now, you're like, wow, this is so much better than what we got now. So to answer the question that I posted at the beginning of this video, are we losing the fun in gaming? No, the fun isn't lost in gaming. It's changing. The AAA scene, yeah, it's probably going to get ready for the inevitable crash that we may have one day. God, I hope we do, because, man, this AAA scene needs a fucking reset at this point. But the indie and retro old games and the AA scene, it's exploding. And I definitely would recommend checking out those games that are coming out. Yeah, probably not going to be big, high budget and everything, but you still feel like there's soul. Like, you can buy a game and it's complete. And you have it. It's yours. And you don't have to worry about stupid updates trying to ruin or change it, usually. But you don't have to worry about all this extra bullshit. So, it's nice to see that. So, no. Gaming isn't dying. It's not losing the fun in it. It's just changing, and we're seeing a better industry emerge from the ashes. So, anyway, I think that's all I have to say in this video. Let me know your guys' comments on how you feel about gaming right now. Do you think the fun is being lost in it, or do you think there is still hope in the gaming industry? Really would like to know your thoughts down in the comments below. But anyway, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when I post another video. Also, check out my Rumble. It's a nice little backup I have, and I've been having and maintaining, just in case something happens on YouTube or whatever might end up happening. So you can follow there if you have a Rumble account. But we are on YouTube, at least, still on the road to 500 subscribers and being monetized. And as of recording, I am at 486. So we're just going to keep getting closer and closer to it, because once we hit that 500, we're about halfway to what I need to be monetized. So anyway, I will see you guys with another video tomorrow. Y'all take care and have a good rest of your day.